Yo everyone, something different for you today because I'll be reviewing the TicWatch Pro 3 Ultra GPS smartwatch made by Mobvoi and powered by Google Wear OS. I will cover the aesthetics, specs, features, what I like and don't like about it, and also give you a final verdict on whether or not this is a good watch. And most importantly, this wouldn't be a video from me if there wasn't any mountain biking in there, so rest assured I will hit local trails and put this watch to the test. So let's jump into it. In terms of the looks and the feel, it's very premium, it's very well made, it feels solid, and it's got a nice rubber strap that fits most wrists. You can see it's got a little bump here, so that ensures that you can track your heart rate, and even when you put it on your wrist in a particular angle, if you have bony wrists like me, it will still stay on and monitor your vitals as it should. It has a button here that goes to the app screen, and it also unlocks your watch. And then you've got a button here that can be customized, so I've just got it as stock, which means it will start an exercise after I press it. But overall, I think the build quality is really nice. I really like the design. It's sporty, but not too much. And also, you can wear it with anything. So just for comparison's sake, here's a G-Shock that you would have seen in my other videos that I wear quite a lot. Simple watch, but I thought the TicWatch will be a lot bigger, but it's not. I think that's a perfect size. And just one more thing to mention about the looks is that you have removable straps, so if you do want to change to anything else, you can do very easily. So in terms of the specs then, I'm not going to dive too much into the detail, but this does have Snapdragon Wear 4100, which is top of the line CPU and GPU, and it works really well. It's really fast, responsive, no like hang-ups as such. If you do have hang-ups, that's because of the apps themselves. As you can see here, I'm scrolling through, no problem whatsoever. If I want to open something up, I can do. Go back, very fast, very snappy. So the watch does have 8 gigs of memory and it has 1 gig of RAM, which is again pretty up there in terms of watch specs. It could have more memory, but so far I haven't needed to want any more. For the full list of specs, please check out the link in the description. Like I said, I'm not going to waffle on too much about them. Okay, on to the features then. So I'm not going to talk about all of them because that will take me all day, but I will talk about the ones that stand out to me and make this a unique watch compared to everything else. So first of all, it's this always on LCD display. So when the watch is not in use, it is still on all the time, but it shows you just date, time and steps and heart rate if you are in the middle of a workout. It doesn't show anything else, so this means that it can save a lot of battery. So the TicWatch has one of the biggest batteries currently in any Wear OS device, 577 milliamps. On sort of normal day-to-day use, I can get about 2 to 3 days with moderate tracking with everything on, and if you have a really extensive day, you'll get at least 24 hours, which you might not think, but is more still than like a Galaxy Watch or an Apple device. So TicWatch claimed that you can have the watch run for 45 days in that essential mode, which is absolutely insane to think of. So one other thing to mention that's quite overlooked, and it is a feature, is that it does have a hidden speaker drain system. So after you go for a swim or a wet ride, you can clean your speakers out and it will blast like a jet all the water out from the speaker, which is pretty cool. So the other distinct feature about this watch is the fact that it's got built-in GPS, so you don't need to take your phone to track your activity. And for me, that's a big deal breaker, because then I don't think there's a point of having a smartwatch if you got to take your phone with you. So if you're running or doing anything and you don't want to take the phone for added weight, so it's messing around in your pocket, then you just take the watch, record it, bam, you're off. And then the last standout feature for me is the Google Assistant. I think it's amazing that you can have it on your wrist. Obviously you've got to be connected to your phone, but like I said, if you've got it in your pocket or in your backpack and you want to use it for something quick, it's a great feature to use.
According to TicWatch Smartwatch and Smart Products, Mobvoi, the TicWatch Pro 3 Ultra GPS meets the 810G military spec and it is IP68 rated and pool swimming suitable. It can be worn when swimming in shallow water, washing hands, sweating, or when it is raining.
Send a message to wifey. What's for dinner? Okay, I'll just whiz through some of the apps that we have on here. So we've got Tic Health, which is like your daily goals, and it shows how many calories you burn, your distance, your mental fatigue, energy level, what exercise you've done, your heart rate, min and max for the day, oxygen saturation, and then other days how well you did. It shows you your sleep, so that's really cool. Shows you when you were awake and in deep sleep, etc. Some cool stats. And then your blood oxygen as well during sleep. So if you do want to measure your heart rate, you go to Tic Pulse and it will measure it for you. And then Tic Oxygen measures your blood oxygen levels. So it does have this Tic Breathe. It's like a yoga exercise for breathing. I'm not interested in that. Tic Hearing, it shows you the environment around you and the decibels. So if you're in a loud place, subscribe to Fly Meta. There you go, if you're willing to risk it. Then you got your agenda, alarm, calculator, contacts, standard stuff. Then moving on to this essential mode. So like I said before, once you don't use the watch, the screen locks away and it switches into essential mode, into that LCD screen. So you can change the color of the screen once you want it to light up. So for instance, I've got the yellow one on here, tilt to light up. Let's put that on just to show you. There you go. And then if I tilt my hand, it should work. There you go. And then you got your notifications. Again, very snappy, and you can reply to your notifications however you want. So I'm gonna just say okay. There you go, and that's sent. And then I can reply, even using my voice. Cool stuff, mate. I'll see you there. Boom, there you go. Then it's got a Find My Phone feature, which I think all smartwatches should just have by default, which is very useful for when you lose your phone. And then we've got other apps here. You got Google Pay, which is really cool. I'm a fan of contactless payments. And then you got Maps, and you can see it works really well just by the GPS. In this particular example, I'm not connected to the phone. I'm just out there in the woods, and it works really well. And you got Spotify and Strava, you got stopwatch, timer, torch, translate, which is very useful when traveling. And then you got your weather. So just going back to the home screen, if you go to the swipe to the right to left, you can see your tiles here, and it shows all the different things that you've got on here, and you can customize however you want this. And then you've got your quick settings, your airplane mode, noise on, find phone, Google Pay, cinema mode, and do not disturb. Okay everyone, let's put the watch on, let's go to the local trails, shred some gnar, test out the GPS function. Just remember, I'm not using anything on my phone, this is purely all from the watch, so we'll see the stats after. Check it. Okay, here's the local steep line. Let's drop in. Yo. I'm back up to the top. Okay, let's drop in another legendary line and then check out the stats, what we've got on the watch. See what we're up to. Okay, let's have a look at the stats mid-ride. So I really love how it shows like the trail that you've sort of ridden from start to end. If we go back to the top, notice how I'm using it with gloves as well. It works so well, a lot better than a GoPro. So here we are: duration, speed, distance, pace, laps. That's one weird thing about it, it shows laps for some reason. I haven't figured out how to switch that off or go around that, but that's okay. Calories, altitude, elevation, and your heart rate. Cool stuff. I think let's go and hit a few more bonus trails just because we can and wrap it up. Oh, is that the Watchmore King?
Yeah, it's the Watchmore King on the phone, yeah. Oh yeah.
Here's the lunch rides that I've done. And as you can see, the GPS is tracking really well, in my opinion. I went up here, up the road, into Watchmore. You can see what it does on sharp corners like that. I mean, that's one issue, but in my opinion, that's nothing. You shouldn't worry about that. Then here I did the first set of jumps, and then here I did that steep section. Then here I rode down, and then here I did a couple of takes on the slow-mos to get a nice angle. You can see the path is there and how it's tracking. And yeah, like I said, I'm happy with that. And then here's that same activity that I've done, but in the Mobvoi app itself. So you can have a quick look. Gives you all the stats, and then it gives you the sections, and then again it gives you the map. Then here's an activity that I've done with the Watchmore King. It's quite a longer one, and you can see how it breaks it down. And again, it gives you a nice map view, and it gives you like sections of each, which is very cool. Very quick view of the Mobvoi app itself. So again, it gives you everything that your watch does, but in a better format, so you can have a look at your stats. So let's talk about the good points. You can use it with gloves. Yeah, that's right, you can. And I wasn't expecting it, but it works amazingly well. Much better than, say, my GoPro. And if you ever try using GoPro with small or other small devices with gloves, you will understand where I'm coming from. For someone like me who makes videos all the time and has to switch settings here and there, this is quite crucial, and it would otherwise annoy me to take gloves off all the time. So when I ride, I put the phone in my bag, so having the ability to see notifications, send messages and take and receive calls is a game changer for uninterrupted rides. And this for me is one of the biggest reasons for having a smartwatch. Combined with Google Assistant, you can have almost full hands-free experience. So the watch is fast and responsive with really good UI. It really is a pleasure to use, and I would expect it from top-end specs like this one. I have no complaints with the speed. Notifications appear on the watch a second after they appear on your phone. So the watch has good microphone and great speaker for taking calls, and I've got no complaints for that. It has excellent battery life compared to all other smartwatches. Like I said before, 2 to 3 days with moderate tracking, and at least over 24 hours with full tracking and extensive use. You can connect your Bluetooth headphones to the watch and listen to music using Spotify or other apps that allow you to load your own music. So some people refer to me as the 5K guy, so for running enthusiasts, all you need to take with you on the run for minimal weight is the watch and your Bluetooth headphones. Ditch the phone entirely. So if a smartwatch cannot do this, then I see no reason for owning one, and it has been one of the reasons why I've been holding off owning a smartwatch for such a long time. So moving on to some of the bad points. So starting off with a missing feature that I think is a must in smartwatches these days. So I would expect to see fall detection feature and a way to make emergency calls if I was to have a big crash on my bike. But this also applies to other sports. Obviously, you shouldn't take big risks when riding alone, but you never know when it happens. I can come up with scenarios where you have a massive stack away from your bag and phone because you are lapping a downhill section, so having the ability to auto call for help would be amazing. Hopefully this is added in the future. So I would prefer to see 30-second timeout option. Sometimes I feel it doesn't give enough time to look at the menu in the apps, and this is more apparent when I try to make this video trying to get some side shots off the watch. Speaking of the screen, tilt to wake feature seems to set off too often when going about your day, and it's more apparent in the evening. Perhaps this can be improved in a future update to make the function react to more force when tilting your hand. In terms of functionality, I would like to see a rotating bezel or some kind of way to go back to the app I used before or to see recent apps. I found it slightly annoying that I had to exit, then go back to the app tray again and open where I left off when I tried to adjust a few apps at the same time. Speaking about essential mode, I feel like the design of the watch face in essential mode could be better. There's quite a lot of unused space, and if anything, they could make the size of digits bigger so it'd be easier to see in brighter conditions. When I first got the watch, I had trouble creating my Mobvoi account. In the end, I used my Google account to log in and make my account that way, so definitely there needs to be some improvement to have better out-of-the-box user experience. So having a play with the watch, there is no native way to transfer music or photos to the watch from, say, your computer, but there are third-party apps that bridge this gap and allow you to do so. Finally, to save you some time, other reviewers that have tested the tracking features in detail on whole say that the watch is not super accurate, but I think personally for the majority of people it shows plenty of detail and gives accurate enough results that you can be happy with and use them to compare your activities. And then just a couple of bad points for Wear OS in general. So currently Google Assistant cannot make calls even though it says it can. This is very annoying.
Sorry, I can't do that anymore.
You cannot use maps to navigate directly from the watch. You have to set the navigation in the phone first and then the directions will be displayed on the watch. There is no YouTube app, so you can't watch any more of my videos, unfortunately, on the watch itself. But hopefully when Wear OS 3 does come out on this watch sometime this year in 2022, hopefully it will fix a few of the points I have mentioned already.
According to Tech Advisor, which watches support Wear OS 3? Samsung Galaxy Watch 4, Samsung Galaxy Watch 4 Classic, Google Pixel Watch, Fitbit Premium smartwatches, and upcoming Mobvoi TicWatches.
So overall, would I recommend this watch? Well, it all depends on your needs, but I would recommend this watch if you are after an all-around fitness tracking device that does many features, including GPS tracking, Google Pay, having the ability to play music, and a very, very long battery compared to everything else. So there you go, guys. Let me know what you think about the watch. Put any questions in the comments and I'll see if you can answer them. And if you want to find out about more in detail and where to buy it, please click the link in the description, and I'll see you in the next one.